I was born in Japan and raised as a minister's son. When I was growing up as a minister's son, I wasn't really, I shouldn't say enjoying, or I wasn't really appreciating being born as a minister's son. Rather, kind of hated being a minister's son. Not knowing what Shinran Shonin's teaching is all about, or Nembutsu and primal vow and all these things, but the way that the lifestyle of ministers in Japan did not excite me. My father was just like visiting a member's house, like delivering a pizza, delivering sutras on the Memorial Day, and brings back envelopes to support the temple and the family. So that's not the way of life to me. But when I was about 14, 15, 16, around that age, started thinking about the future, of my own future. And I'm a little different from others. I didn't want to be a businessman. And I didn't know what to study or what to, aim for, what kind of a profession or job. At that time, my uncle, my mother's older brother, suggested me to become a Kaikyoshi minister in the United States. I wasn't really interested in Buddhism, but it sounded good, becoming a minister in overseas. So I started paying a little more attention to Jodo Shinshu teaching. And actually, my grandparents are very, very devout Jodo Shinshu Buddhist. So their interaction with my grandparents made me think of the Jodo Shinshu in different ways, not just chanting sutra or conducting memorial service and those things, but my grandparents' way of life made me think of the authenticity of Jodo Shinshu teaching and the true value of Shinran Shonin's message. And I decided to go to Kyoto to study. Of course, there are other things happened in between, but I was able to go to Kyoto to study Jodo Shinshu teaching. But my father said, don't study Jodo Shinshu. That's the worst thing to study. At the age of 18 or 19, you shouldn't be brainwashed by Jodo Shinshu teaching. So he told me to study just the general Buddhism. So I majored general Buddhism, not the Jodo Shinshu Buddhist study. And at the age of 20, I started going to a minister training seminar. Minister meaning overseas minister training seminar that Honganji was offering. This, you have to go every day. I have to go there every day from 7 to 9 in the evening. 7 to 9 every day, 5 days a week for 2 years. And that really, really opened my eyes. By going to this special sessions offered by Honganji, I had met with wonderful teachers. Some of you might know names like Ueda Gibbon Sensei, Ueda Gibbon, Sosuke Nishimoto Sensei, Nishimoto Sosuke, Sakakibara Tokuso Sensei, and Hanada Masao Sensei. These senseis, they are not just sharing Jodo Shinshu here. They were sharing the Jodo Shinshu from here. They're just speaking their true appreciation of Jodo Shinshu, but not from here, but from their lives. Their whole being was preaching. wow, this is something. It's like a meeting the true living Buddhas. Just being by them, not truly understanding what they're saying, but just being there, listening to them, watching them. Wow, Buddhism is not for dead people. Buddhism is for people living people. These people are not sages, but they are well-known people. But they are sharing the true feeling of being a human being. They are not pretending to be like teachers or sages. They are just sharing what they have deep inside with the students. One of the teachers, we are talking about some issues and social issues and concerns, and we asked this sensei, how come, that was during the Vietnam War time. We shouldn't be here, we shouldn't be listening to this kind of lecture, we should be out there doing something to stop the bombing and the Vietnam. Sensei, we should be sitting here. I didn't ask that question, but someone else. So I was kind of, I had the same question a little bit, but not as strong as that person. But the sensei was looking down like this. I know, I understand, but for me, this I cannot even treat my parents with respect. Meaning, when he needed something from his parents, he go to his parents and ask for something. But when he doesn't need anything, he treat them like trash. I said, wow. This teacher really speaking from the heart, really speaking from deep inside. We talk about the peace, we talk about equality, we talk about saving lives. Looking at himself, he can even make his own family or parents happy, or When I was listening to these teachers, their life experiences, what made these people the way they are? That was the question. They are all devout Jodo Shinshu followers, and they all praise Shinran Shonin. So, from that moment on, I was so much taken into Jodo Shinshu. I started looking at Jodo Shinshu more for myself. That doesn't mean I understood everything that the teacher said, but I knew that this Jodo Shinshu teaching has so much offer to people today. Many Japanese Buddhists, even Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, Nembutsu teaching is just for deceased, just for funeral services or memorial services, or even petitional prayer kind of Nembutsu. When we are in trouble, we say Namandam, Namandam. But these sensei's Nembutsu was different. So I started hearing the message from different angle, and I began to see Jodo Shinshu from standpoint of the true means to bring the happiness to people today. And I know that Buddhism is actually a religion of wisdom, right? Religion of wisdom. And the tradition that we follow, our head temple in Japan, its name is Honganji. You're familiar with the name Honganji? Anybody knows Honganji? Hongan means primal vow, or universal vow, Buddha's vow. That's the name of the temple. We don't use that here, right? We use the Palo Alto Buddhist temple. There's no Hongan. Berkeley Buddhist temple. There is no usage of the word Hongan. But when you go to Hawaii, every Jodo Shinshu temple has a name Honganji in it. So they could talk about the Hongan, the primal vow. But here, because we don't use the term Hongan, it is difficult for us to talk about the Buddha's vow. So Honganji tradition, the universal vow, the primal vow, the Shinran Shonin talks about the primal vow, the vow directed to all beings, wishing all beings to receive the light of wisdom. We live in this world not truly seeing things as they are. We might say, no, I'm seeing everything as they are. But in reality, my view is different from your view, right? Everybody has different view. It's a karmic view that we, each individual, has. This Shakyamuni said, we are the result of what we have done or what we have said, right? We are a result of what we have done in the past. And each and every one of us, we are here as a result of what we had experienced. Right? All these informations, experiences you have had in the past, somehow making you as you. And that, the time frame is not just the last 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. It goes back to beginningness of the beginning. Before we were human beings, somehow things that our primitive being did is carried on to this moment too. It's not just that. So your age, my age, he is 62, I'm 62. Conventionally we say that, but we talk about age, and human life, there's a birth and the birthday, and today we're here, but our life is our life did not begin at the time of birth into this world. It's just a process, a continuous process, right? We DNA or whatever that people might call. I went back to Japan last year or 2 years ago. I had a dinner with my distant relative, like sixth cousin. One of them resembled my daughter. There's, wow, never met him before, but looking at him and my daughter said, wow. So that shows that something that, it's not just 30 years or 40 years, there's a continuation of life. And my daughter, the oldest daughter, she's into art. And my grandfather was good at drawing things, so she somehow inherited. So there's a continuation of the karmic effect from the distant past to the present. So during that time of billions of years, our consciousness has been formed. It's not just the last 10 years or 20 years of experience. Our karmic consciousness is a result of all these experiences. So our mind, our brain capacity may be 4 gigabyte, 10 gigabyte, in my case maybe 1 gigabyte. But that limited data or information that I have accumulated in my karmic consciousness, that makes me as me. So each individual has different karmic data stored in each individual. And based on that karmic data, you are seeing things. You are making judgment. You are criticizing others, or liking others, hating others, based on this. So each individual, just like each one of you, each one of us, different phase, same way, different way of thinking, different way of seeing things, and therefore, if there are 40 people, there are 40 different ideas. That's why it's difficult being a bishop. I want to do this, but I hear 40 different ideas, suggestions, right? So we take the majority vote, but still I think I'm right. Even the husband and wife living together for many years, right? You're right. No, I'm right. Someone said, my wife and I sometimes, not sometimes, maybe sometimes we argue. But member said, Sensei, remember, your wife is always right. So that's the secret for having a happy marriage. No, but I think I'm right. But that's the difficulty of, accepting other people's views. But our view, our knowledge, our wisdom is so little, so limited. But one cannot see oneself. I could see Ruth, I could see John, but you could see me, but I cannot see myself. I could see myself in a mirror, but that's still I am seeing myself. I'm discounting, or I'm not really seeing me. So to see oneself, it takes something else, outside eyes, outside views or something. And that's the so-called Buddhist wisdom, coming from outside. Not coming from inside, but coming from outside, making you realize the truth of yourself. The truth of oneself is the most difficult things to accept. Shinran Shonin used the word bongu, foolish, ordinary being. I could see you people foolish, but not me. That's the very sign of the foolish being. Oneself is very, very difficult to see. And this self, this mind, the way that the mind works, just like a computer, it's almost like a binary system. In order for me to see things, I have to use yes or no, A or B, black or white, good or bad. That's the only way I could see things. So everything in 2, or maybe 3, yes, no, maybe so, but the 2, usually 2. Happiness, unhappiness, good and bad, short and tall, right? This and that, male, female. Anyway, we try to distinguish just from that too. So when we do that, our mind sees this is A, this is B, this is good, this is bad. But my mind is constantly moving. My mind is constantly moving. So today I said this person is a good person. Next day I might be saying, oh, that person is not good. Depending upon my own way of thinking, it changes. Depends on my own convenience, things change. So we, just like this, we are born into this world and we die, right? Right? So these two are inseparable, right? Life and death. Inseparable, but what are we doing? Keep the death out there. We are not seeing this as pair or one. Life and the death are one. But our mind separate that. Right? This is life, this is death. Okay, there's a line here. Get rid of this. Okay, all these scholars and scientists, please come and help us. Let's get this out. We try to do this. And we try so hard to get this out of our sight and keep something here. That's our human activities that we see today. We don't want to be aging. We don't want to be seeing someone dying. We don't want to see separation. And what did Shakyamuni Buddha say? These are inevitable difficulties that all we have to go through. Yet our mind, we understand those things here, but in everyday life, it's very difficult for us to accept it. So we use all kinds of things, even the religion, to remove the suffering from our world. Namandam, namandam, namandam. Please just leave something good for me and bad things go away. We use a religion or science and all these things to keep something that benefits us. Something that doesn't benefit us, go someplace else. And that's the activities of mankind. Like we say love and hate. Love cannot exist by itself. When you love something, you're hating others. If you like this, you're not liking others. So you cannot just have a love. Love and hate, these two go together. So that kind of a human way of thinking, we don't see that. We don't see. That's why we demonize other, evil being out there, try to kill those people. The war and fighting and all these things, coming from the not understanding human way of thinking, our own mental movement that we all have deep inside. We don't understand, so we always see something negative out there, just get rid of it. So that's where the sadness of human existence. The Buddha's vow is to make us truly see the truth of our existence. Buddha's vow is coming to this realm. Buddha himself or herself or itself, the enlightenment itself is making itself known into this world and making us see the true condition of our existence. So if Buddha has a vow, Buddha has to let us know the vow, Buddha's wishes. Buddha is not just sitting there, standing there, not doing anything. Buddha is in motion. Buddha is in motion, awakening us. How? That's the question. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? So there are many paths, many practices in the Buddhist traditions. What do we do in order for us to realize the truth of ourselves? And then in the Buddhist traditions, there are two major traditions. One tradition, non-Jodo Shinshu tradition, well, I don't know other traditions, so I cannot talk about other traditions, but usually the way it is taught is non-Jodo Shinshu tradition, we do something. We do something to become aware of those things. We have to do something. We cannot just sit there and, oh, something will happen. You have to do something, right? In everyday life, if you want to be a good basketball player, you have to practice. Same way, if you want to be free from suffering, you have to do something. And so, there are many schools of Buddhism, traditions, teach ways or practices, certain practices that you could perform in order for you to become aware of the truth of the world and yourself. So you try to do something, they urge you to do something. But the Jodo Shinshu tradition, they just say the name, Namo Amida Butsu. Just say the name, Namo Amida Butsu, just say the name. This is the most difficult practice for me, Doing something is easier, Tell me what to do, tell me something so I could do. But Jodo Shinshu, no, don't do anything. Just say the name. Say the name. You will be born into the pure land. That's the teaching. The other traditions, you have to do something, either sitting or meditating or being on the mountain and do something to purify your mind and actions. So you do something. But Jodo Shinshu, Shinran Shonin said he did that for 20 years. And he couldn't see himself achieving anything. He did that for 20 years. Then he came to his teacher Honen Shonin, and Honen Shonin was just saying, you have to just say Namo Amida Butsu, the Buddha's vow, listen to the Buddha's vow and say the name Namo Amida Butsu. Wow, what is this? Just saying the name, what does saying the name will do? So that's the question, the big question. For us, saying the name, what does it mean? So that's where the Jodo Shinshu teaching, Pure Land teaching, the difficulties of Pure Land teaching, the lies, difficult. I say Namo Amida Butsu, you say Namo Amida Butsu, nothing happens. Could you say Namo Amida Butsu? Namo Amida Butsu, say it. Namo Amida Butsu. Anything happen? Did something happen? Nothing, huh? Saying Namo Amida Butsu, nothing happens. So, what are you saying? This is not even a religion. What are you saying? This Namo Amida Butsu business is the most difficult. Shinran Shonin said this is the most difficult out of all difficulties that you could find. Saying the name Namandam, 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 nothing happens. Why Buddha made such vow? Just say the name, you'll be saved. You'll be born into the pure land. Why did he, or Buddha, make such a vow? That's where we need to really pay attention. What is it that the Buddha is seeing that we don't see? we see ourselves with our own eyes, that's not truly you. How am I seen in the eyes of true wisdom? This is the difficulty. Buddha sees something that we don't see. Buddha sees something that we don't see. In order for us to realize the truth of ourselves, Buddha selected this vow of saying the name is the practice. There are many practices, but the Buddha said saying the name is the practice. Saying the name is the practice. I'm drinking this, and when I put this in my mouth, what comes out? Water, right? Wine doesn't come in. Why? Because water inside. Water inside, so water comes out, right? If coffee is inside, coffee will come out. So water is inside and the water comes out. Our life, what's deep inside here? Buddha sees this as just garbage. What we have, what we treasure as me, self, I, is, as I said, all these data, all these experiences you have accumulated, and treasuring this, seeing this is something. Your knowledge, your education, your possession, all these things, you treasure this so much. But what we are holding on is nothing but garbage, which is difficult to accept. Garbage, what I mean is, Buddha's eyes, what Buddha is seeing in each and every one of us is the sad state of human conditions, sad existential situation that we are in. By saying the name is the great practice, he is implying the good act that you think is no longer good. Good that you think good is not the truly good. You think giving $10 to homeless, that's good, right? Is it good? By giving money to someone, you may be ruining that person's life. You don't know. Your definition of good and the Buddha's definition of good, completely different. So what the Buddha is saying, what you have in your mind as good, please put it aside. This is not the true good act. Making us realize who we truly are by saying the name is a great practice. This is the most difficult because we have faith in our own self. We have faith in our own self. I take refuge in me. We don't Namo Amida Butsu. We Namo myself. We Namo myself. We say Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, just saying it. In our daily life, we are not Namo Amida Butsu. Namo means to rely on or taking refuge or going to for guidance. We are not going to Buddha for guidance. We are going to education for guidance. We are going to minister for guidance. We are going to friends for guidance. We never go to the perfect wisdom for guidance. We, as human beings, we are being told by enlightened ones with our activities, human behaviors, looking at each individual deeply, just recite Namo Amidams. This is the most difficult. I said this before, but one of the masters, seven masters, Tuanlan, he used human activity. He used the story, not story, but inchworm going around the rim of a cup. You know, inchworm. Have you seen the inchworm going like this? I don't know if you have seen. When I was growing up in Japan, I used to see that. If you place inchworm on the rim of a cup, it just goes around the circle. And humans are doing the same thing. We say civilization or advancement. We are just going around the circle, making the condition actually worse and worse. We say peace, 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 and fighting. We want to live long. We want the organ transplantation. And in some countries, kids are being kidnapped for organ. So, what are we doing in human beings? Going after some thing that doesn't exist as something that is out there and just making a circle. So the Buddha's true wish is to make us realize the true condition of human beings, how drunk we are. We are drunk. We don't even know we are drunk. We could see others being drunk, but from the eyes of Buddha, there is way to make us truly see how it is. That's the Amida's vow. Amida's vow is just say the name, meaning you have what you think is good, just put it aside. Listen to me. Listen to me. These people who listen to the vow of Amida, Shinran Shonin and my teachers that I met, they truly discovered themselves, who they are, what they are, and they live their lives really, humbly and joyfully and happily. But always not being harsh on themselves, but seeing the truth of themselves being such, they extend a warm compassion to others, because other people, conditions, understanding others, why others are the way they are, because they themselves see the truth of themselves, why they are the way they are. If one sees oneself in this way, they look at the others in the same way and understand why other people behave certain way, because their karmic force is making them behave the way they behave. Same way that my behavior is controlled by my own karmic force, karmic push. And Shinran Shonin, he truly understood his condition, and he said that his passions or pleasures or bonno In Jodo Shinshu circle, we use the term gas, greed, anger, and stupidity. These three poisons, as long as we have these physical bodies, we cannot get rid of these three poisons. But recognizing it, recognizing one being drunk, is a great awareness. Recognizing yourself, truth of yourself, leads to understand other people better and see each other as fellow beings being victimized by the past karmic effect. Shinran Shonin truly saw himself as a possessor of all kinds of seeds of any wrongdoing. I am standing here as a bishop of BCA, but any moment I could be in the jail. I have the same seed of any actions that you may condemn as a criminal act. But I'm not in the position or situation right now to commit those crimes. But if I'm under certain circumstances and conditions, I may be arrested tomorrow, I may be in the jail. That's the way we, without exception, we possess the seed of all these action, which is, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, that's the state of our human beings. The Shinran Shonin really understood human nature. He understood the cries of this Buddha, tears of the Buddha, and he found, Shinran Shonin found his teacher Honen Shonin as manifestation of Amida Buddha, meaning he encountered a person who truly understands him as he is, and the person who accepts him truly as he is. For us to live in this world, what we need is not, we need money, we need a house, we need a car, of course, but the most important thing that we need to have in this world is to encounter with a person who truly understands this being and accept this being as I am. So that person is Shinran Shonin, that person is Honen Shonin, that person is my teachers that I met. These are the people who are Amidanized by understanding the true vow of the Buddha and found themselves in the true order, not the world that we see with our eyes, but the bigger world, higher dimensional world. We are all one. Even the insect, trees, grass, all these beings are embraced and encouraged to live its own life as given to them, accepting the difficulties sometimes, crying together, laughing together, sharing the moments of life together. So Shinran Shonin was the one truly understood humanity, and he did not really criticize others, but with this understanding mind wished others to hear the Buddha's vow. We are always being prayed, wished by the bigger heart and mind that embracing all beings. We are the one making the world so small, saying, I'm Buddhist, he is Christian, that person is Jewish. All these small way of thinking is dispelled by encountering the great mind and heart of the Buddha. May all beings receive this wisdom light, see each individual as truly as they are, and live your life to its fullest. So I am very, very grateful for this Amida's vow, the 18th vow or 17th vow, and the opportunity that given to me this evening to share the Buddha's profound wish with all people here today. Thank you.